Hi, fellow peer coaches from Coach Arya. Wanted to send out a brief video log of the inner game of tennis before we actually meet. So, in a couple of minutes, I will explain to you what Timothy Gallwey, who used to be a tennis player before he became a tennis coach, and then went on to establish an inner game franchisee of books and different things about how to do self-improvement via playing the inner game. What does he talk about? Inner game of tennis basically talks about the constant struggle between the conscious mind, Tim calls it the self one, and the unconscious mind, Tim calls it the self two. The constant chatter, the constant tussle or the struggle between self one and self two as humans try to achieve the best in whatever skill it is that they are picking up. But to excel at any game, the first thing that people have to do is to win the inner game. And that's what our job as coaches also can be, to help win the inner game, our coaches. Tim gives a nice simple formula. It says performance is equal to potential minus impediments. Anything that is a potential needs to be accentuated, improved, and anything that's an impediment needs to be removed. Oh, that seems so obvious, right? But then let's apply it to the self-1, self-2 construct that we understood. And that gave me a 4-step process of actually helping somebody achieve the best possible in his game or her game. And I will use coaching as the example. Imagine if we used to have a book called Inner Game of Coaching. Step 1 to do this is quietening your self one. To make your self one almost let go of judgments, of self-doubt, of critical thinking, of analysis paralysis, and applied to coaching. It translates to when in front of the coachee, I am removing all conscious, analytical, rational judgment and self-doubt from my mind. That quietening of the conscious mind or the self-one is step 1. The step 2 is to trust the self. The step 2 is to trust the self-2, which is the unconscious mind. We have immense power in the unconscious mind. The self-2 is very capable. Tim says it can do all kinds of great jobs, and it is already doing great jobs. Even as I am speaking, it's running my body. Self-2 is the one that is in command of the body, not the self-1, and is doing an awesome job at that. So then why not trust it and respect it to make things happen even in the activity that you are currently doing? To apply it to coaching, I might think of it like the instinct that we have as good people. When we are counseling our friends, all of us as peer coaches, we have talked about this. We actually say, our friends really value us because we listen to them. And we give them a succor or a shoulder, or maybe sometimes advice as well. That instinct that we have, that we actually help and derive joy out of that instinct is our self-2 as coaches. So in the inner game of coaching, we have to start trusting our self-2. That's the step 2. The step 3 is, now the self-1, which is the conscious mind, is not sitting quiet. It's chattering away when we are in a coaching session. Or, as Tim says, in the tennis field also. So focus the self-1 is a step 3. Focus the self-1 in a way that it's doing something here and now, because it needs a job. If self-1 does not have a job, it will go find a job for itself, which invariably will be to gaze out into the future and see in the future what your game will be like. Or fast forward and say, we are going to lose this match in tennis. Or in coaching, I don't think this session is going too well. I wonder if this client will come back to me or not. I don't know. And then start doing scenario analysis in the future. That has to stop, which means the self one needs a job today, here, and absolutely now to focus on. The inner game of tennis, most of his coaches, Tim says to them, focus on the ball. And by focus on the ball, he doesn't say just keep looking at the ball, but actually try to understand where the ball is at this moment and how is it moving at this moment. And that's a self-one job. So when self-one starts doing that job, it automatically stops judging and being critical and being paranoid about the future, etc. As applied to coaching, I think coaching presence is a big one. So when we do coaching presence, practice of that competency, we're actually being exactly that. We are being present right there in the moment with our clients. Step 3, therefore, focus your self-one on something here and now. Final step is basically a conversation between the self-one and the self-two. If you have done the 3 steps properly, then the 4th step will come naturally. The 3 steps, therefore, are: quiet your conscious mind, defer judgment, do not be self-critical. Second, trust your instincts. Trust yourself too. Understand that it is highly capable and it actually has got it. Step 3, focus your self-one on something which is here and right now so that it has a job to do. 4th step, therefore, is a conversation. The conversation is between the self-one and self-two, and the experience is the best way to find your right balance.